All right, so the next thing that I want to get into a discussion about here, and this is probably the most important thing that I think you could possibly ever do on this instrument, is actually to learn the name of every single one of these, every single fret on your entire guitar. Now, don't expect to learn this in 2 days. It's not that simple of a thing, but it's also not very hard if you just think about everything we've just talked about. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply start on our 6th string, okay? And if you'll remember back, that's an E note, okay? So thinking of the alphabet, it's A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. We're going to apply that to every string so that you can kind of start to get a feel of where all of those are at. Here we go. So we start on the 6th string, that's an E. If we move a half step up from that, what comes next? So E doesn't have a sharp, so it goes from E to F. We're going to move up another half step. That's an F to an F sharp. Another half step from F sharp to G. G to G sharp. G sharp to A. So if you remember at the end of the 12 letters that we were just looking at a moment ago, you'll see after 12 comes 1 again, which would be the A. So that's why we move from G sharp at the 4th fret to an A again at the 5th fret, and then we just continue on from there. So the 5th fret is A, next fret, A sharp to B, B to C, C to C sharp to D, D to D sharp, and finally D sharp to E. Now I say finally because if you look down at your guitar now, you're going to see that you're at the fret with the 2 dots. Okay? At the fret with the 2 dots, you're at an E note again. Okay? So we're just repeating. So the name of the string was E, and the double dot fret is also E, or the 12th fret. So from that point on, the guitar just repeats itself again on every string. So if you only have to learn this much, it's not as scary as you first might have thought. Okay? Now we're going to move on to the 5th string. Now what confuses most people is that when you start here, where do you start from in the alphabet? So if the opening note is an A note, then in the alphabet you also start from an A note and then work your way up from there. So we have an A, followed by a sharp, followed by a B. Now remember, after B, there is no sharp, so it goes right from B to C, C to C sharp, C sharp to D, D to D sharp to E, E to F. There's no sharp on that E, remember, so E to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And you'll notice once again we wind up at the double dot on an A note, which was the name of the 5th string. A and A. Okay? Alright, here we go. We're going to move a little quicker through the rest of these. So we have a D note as the 4th string. So we have D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, double dot, D. We're right back where we started. Okay? Moving right along here, we have a G. So now we're starting from a G in the alphabet. Don't get confused. We're starting from a G note, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, double dot is G. Okay, moving right along, we have the 2nd string, which is B. So we have a B. Moving to the 1st fret, we have a C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Okay? So we're pretty much done now. How come? The 1st string is an E again. So once you know the sixth string well, the first string is exactly the same thing. So if you know all of the notes on this sixth string here, you just come up here and it's exactly the same. So we have an E, again, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Okay? Now, people always are like, well, that's a huge amount of work, and how can you possibly tackle all that in just, a short amount of time? The trick is to not actually attempt to memorize all of them. Start by picking one note. Like, for instance, pick an A note and go through all of your strings and find the A note on all of the strings. So, for instance, we have E. I'm going to move through this a little quicker. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So there's an A on that string. All right, that's at the 5th fret. And I'm going to go to the 5th string, and that string's already in A. Okay? Now, if you want to think this through, remember that the 12th fret is exactly the same as the open string. So if you know that there's an A as an open string, then all you have to do is go right to the 12th fret, and there's another A. Then I'm going to go to the 4th string and find an A there. D is the 4th string. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay, so there's another A. That's the 4th string, 7th fret. Now I'm moving to the 3rd string. That's a G note. G, G sharp, A. That was easy. That's an A note at the 2nd fret. And then moving to the B string, we have B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. That's the 10th fret. And last but not least, the E string, or the 1st string, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay? Finally, why would you even want to know all of this? Well, if you know all of the notes on your guitar, this makes music and understanding music so simple. Here it is. There's a word called harmony, all right? Very simple. It means two things get along well together, okay? So if somebody's playing, for instance, this chord, all right, which is a G chord, what you would want to be able to do ultimately is just to be able to look at the notes of that. And then what music really is about is just replaying those same notes, but in different places and in different ways. So what it does is it just makes a real simple connection between one thing and another. Okay? So the strongest thing I could tell you, memorize this clearly. Take your time. It's not going to happen in 2 days. It might take a week. It might take a month. It might take a year. But just stick to it, and you'll see the benefit very soon.